Well, here we are again, Attack on Titan fans. I managed to pick these up locally at a used toy store. So, my understanding is this is a set right here. This is a weird giant tissue box holder that looks like the trees from the forest scene of, the franchise. And it comes with a different Mikasa here. So, let's just look at the box first, get that out of the way, because the figures are more important. I didn't want this box, I just want the Mikasa figure, but it was a set. Anyways, you can see clearly it's plastic. Even the front, which I don't understand why they wouldn't carry this whole tree theme over to this surface. I guess it would require another part of a mold, that's why. Cost cutting. And then I noticed there's two holes here if you want to put pegs into them. Part of me thinks maybe it could have used more holes so you could put like a whole collection of figures on this thing, but only two. Alright, on the bottom it's a separate piece, it's totally blanked off. You can see some ribbing from the inside, what's going on there. And that's it. Yeah, there's not much to it. Again, I don't even use tissue boxes. But anyways, it's here, so let's look at the Mikasa figure that this thing came with. I'm going to move the camera in. Alright, so this is the Mikasa it comes with. She's got a very attacking pose going on. She's coming at you, or coming at a Titan. The base here has her name on it, with some blood splattering. And then, how old is this thing? 2015 is when this little tissue box set apparently came out. Okay, so to see better details, I can take her head off, and you can also get access to this peg. Putting this peg in is a lot easier when you take the head and the cape off, but there's a square hole there, obviously you can see. And then, as usual, the actual details are pretty nice for something this small. I mean, you gotta remember, look at my fingers, and then look at the figure. So I think that's a pretty acceptable, if not good, amount of detail for something of this size. And then the paint details as well are really fantastic. Look at the silver on top of the brown straps there. This belt is a different brown as well than this little skirt she's wearing. And then I think there's a different brown for the scarf. So it's really nice, I wonder if this arm articulates. No, it does not. It's a separate piece, but I guess it's glued in place. And then the feet, yeah, there's a different gray here than the brown of the boot. Yeah, it's impressive as usual. The cape here, it does have a tampo of the Survey Corps logo. I guess it's pronounced Survey Corps is how I pronounce it, but it's spelled Survey Corps, right? Let's see. Yeah, the face here, you got some recess. Her mouth has a little opening. It's very shallow though, and then the eyes are painted very well. The shadowing effect they have for the pupil. And then the hair, nicely molded. Coming to fine tips. There's a lot of tips going on there, so it's pretty nice. And being a round peg for a neck, you can actually pose her a little bit. If you get a PVC figure, any PVC figure that's bent like this from like shipping, you can take a hair dryer or just dunk it in like hot water, and then you just hold it, and once it cools off, it'll take its original shape back. I'm not gonna make you watch though. So I was a little bit premature in putting the head back on because I need to actually put this peg in so I can put her on this little diorama tissue box thing. Alright, so the box itself, it has a hexagonal hole just like the base did, and then yeah, it fits tight, so she's going down the tree. Alright, and then I picked this up loose as well. This is a Hange figure, of course, and what's weird is the base just says Hans. So I'm not sure if this is the correct base for this figure, but the peg does seem to be correct. I always thought her name was Hange. Anyways, this base says 2014 as far as how old this was. This is from. Okay. And then as usual, nice details here, you know, the gray of the sole, the brown of the boots, the brown of the straps, and a little bit of silver, not so much actually on these straps, actually barely there. And actually the belt is missing the silver on the buckle. So I think they got a little lazy on this one. But again, for something this small, it doesn't bother me. I think it still has a lot of great details. The vertical maneuver gear. The swords, yeah, I want to heat those up later and get them totally parallel. And they'll look much better. And the flesh tone seems okay. Alright, so the head here, yeah, you have a hexagonal hole there for the peg. So there is a different brown of these straps holding the back of her hair. And then you can see there's like a darker brown on the tips and a lighter brown in the middle, or maybe that's just the light. I do feel like on the top of the head here, that is a darker brown. Hold on, I gotta get... This seems a little dusty from being in a display cabinet at a toy shop there. So maybe that's throwing me off. You know, it just might be an illusion. It's just the LEDs. For some reason, it makes it look like it has a brown frosting on the top, but when I rotate it, it goes away. So I guess it is just one brown, but it's the reflection or something. I'm not sure if you're going to see that on YouTube here. Anyways, again, nice tips of hair and a lot of different hair fragments coming around. Alright, so her glasses, they have a little streaking to them, like a cartoon reflection going on. And then her eyebrows are printed nice, and a little bit of depth again to her mouth. And some white of her teeth, and a little bit of blush. Yeah, it might be hard to see, but there's a little pink streaking going underneath her eyes. So, interesting little detail they put on there. So a different molded cape with the Cervicore logo, and then the back details, just as nice as most other figures in this collection. Okay, so I put this back here. Well, let's put this peg. There's a second hole on this tissue box, so I might as well try to put Hange into it. So it's way down here. It does fit, but it's such a low, it's so low, it's weird, you know, they would choose that place to be a hole. I also feel like, yeah, as mentioned, they could have put a hole like here so you don't see it from the front view so much, but you could have a figure flying about. Or maybe if it came with some extra long peg stands, then you could have them flying, jumping off the tree even more. These trees, they don't come off. They seem to be glued in place. But I'm not sure if that was done by the person who originally bought this, or what. Oh, you know what? If it's a square peg, maybe I can put the stand at a 90 degree, and let's see what happens now. No, that doesn't work at all. That's just weird. Maybe it would have been better to have a round stand and then a hexagonal hole, just like the base in this thing. Then you could rotate the figure and get a better angle for the body. I don't know. This peg hole in the stand is not working well with this peg. Or you gotta put it in beforehand and then put the figure on after the fact. Yeah, I guess that's the way to do this particular one. Alright, so that's in there. But see, it still wants to fall out. The weight. Maybe you have to angle her body upwards. It's just the head is so heavy, it's causing a lot of weight, and it's torquing. It's torquing the body off of this square thing. Oh, well, this is interesting. I didn't know this. But the vertical maneuver gear is pegged into the leg. I just assumed they were glued in place. Yeah, unfortunately the back of this thing isn't tight. And you know what? I have a solution. It's poster mount putty. So, just a little dab of this stuff. I'll tighten up the hole in the back. Since she's got a cape on, you really won't see it. Yeah, it's a weird location. That's just strange to look at, right? No, that can't be right. So, I think what's going on is the box is oriented this way. Because if you look at the image back here, the tree branches are sticking out horizontally. That's why they're hanging out on the tree branches. And so I think the flat spot is actually supposed to be on top, so you can put figures up there. So let me try to put Hange back in here. So she's now jumping off this branch. And I think that's the intention of the design of this thing. Obviously if I actually had a tissue box on hand, I would have probably figured that out a little faster, but where I live, they don't sell tissue boxes very commonly. They're usually in a bag. Alright, so that actually does look pretty good, but now Mikasa over here, I'm going to change her peg orientation. Or, yeah, this square hole, I have to change it 90 degrees. So now it looks like she's flying off this branch. Yeah. In their case, her blade is touching the tree. It's going to get bent by the tree if I leave her in that position all the time. Okay, so now that makes a lot more sense. I'm just a moron. Okay. So I actually do have another Mikasa from 2014. I think. What's it say here? Yeah, 2014. I think this might be the original one that Banpresto put out. But I don't know for sure. Please leave a comment. She's got a more boring, plain face, like what's happening, but she's ready to kill something. So then, yeah, you could take your extra figures and put them up there. So maybe 1, 2, 3, probably 5 figures would fit up there. Okay, so let's get the camera a different angle here. So, I guess now I understand why there's only 2 peg holes, because it only fits 2 people jumping off the tree. And then obviously you could have someone behind that, but just on a stand. Although I actually do think it would have been nice to have a peg hole right there, hidden away, so you could have someone just standing right there. Oh well, can't change what they did here in the past, so I'm gonna have to live with it. It's an interesting mini diorama. For me, it wasn't really necessary. It's so big, I don't even know if I'm going to keep this thing. Maybe I will, I don't know. It's also been, you know, chipped away. The paint's been dropped or something. You know, it's a used toy. Alright, well anyways, I guess I'll see you in the next Attack on Titan video, and thanks for tuning in today. Bye now.